Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you a Pyramid Head PTB discussion gameplay video. Gameplay in the back, discussion in the front. And this is going to be the weirdest I told you so I think I've delivered when it comes to video games. Strap in, sit down, tell me your thoughts at the end. Because this one is weird. A few things. How do I start? So if you aren't paying attention to the PTB right now, Pyramid Head has a change in it that your M2 inflicts torment. This is a change that I know I've suggested in the past. I couldn't find what video I've suggested it on. I've been doing this for a few years now. Or if it was on a live stream, so who knows. But I know I've been one of the people that suggested in the past. And I've also said that Pyramid Head was going to be good in the current meta. And he is, and especially if this goes live. But this has been a doozy because even I admit it seems like it would be too strong. Yeah, even when I've suggested it myself, I kind of said it like half joking, but like not really. It's just like, haha, unless, you know what I mean? Like, this is a change that, by all metrics, should not happen on Pyramid Head. A very good change, very great quality of life change. It makes him feel a lot better. But objectively speaking, probably shouldn't happen. Because he's already good at tunneling, and this kind of just makes him better. Because you don't get any of the benefits from hook stages, or being on the hook and things like that. Now, at the same time, if they think that it's fair to then make it count with hook perks, they'd have to do it both ways. And that might be even worse than what people want. Because then things like Plaything can get applied for a Pentimento build, or just Plaything. Well, more easily, like you can already do these things. Or, you know, building towards Grim Embrace, No Way Out, you know, things like that. That couldn't happen, so I would just say haha unless to that one too, and get it out your system. If you're here like, oh, it's just a bad guy main. Yeah, I guess, but even I would have told you that it probably should not happen, right? And I don't play Pyramid Head. I've talked about this several times. I don't play him that often. So this is very confusing to have feelings on. And the other thing about this, why I'm making this entire video, is because it just feels like a good quality of life change. It does not feel as bad as I thought it would in the grand scheme of things. Like, I played it, I had games where I still got rolled, and I had games where I still did the roll in. Like, across the board, it feels fine. It doesn't feel as insane as I thought it would. Especially in the current state. Like, this is the PTB. People were kind of saucing me on some of the maps. I'm not gonna lie, And I did some saucing on the maps. Not gonna lie. So, it effectively really is a skill issue. Like, I'm gonna be honest, this feels like one of those, oh, you got caged? Sounds like a skill issue. Like, it really does. Because if you're not hitting people with your M2, you're just wasting time taking shots and extending the chase. And mind you, the M2 was already a skill shot with good benefits, i.e. hitting somebody through walls and things. But now, you can cage somebody on top of that. And the suggestion I would make to this, to be more fair, is that downs with the M2 would inflict torment, not just the entire basis of it. But so far, I haven't seen any complaints on it. I think when we all looked at the patch notes, excuse me, and was like, he can do what? We all, the sensible of us, were like, oh no, that's too strong. But even the survivors I've gone against so far, and let me tell you, there's been complaints. There's been complaints about other things, but not this. Like, nobody seems to mind it. Which, like, I'm okay with changes that people don't mind, you know, that are just good, quality of life, and people aren't upset as spaghetti about. I'll take those changes every day of the week. I just would have never imagined this was one of them. A bit, and that goes across everything. People haven't been raging on the tweeter.com as far as I've seen. I don't go on Reddit, so I don't know about that. But usually Reddit spills over to Twitter, so I'd probably know by now. But it just seems like a very good change. And it does come with weird implications. I know the hypothesis has been made that this comes from people looking at a spreadsheet and going, huh, there's not much torment in Pyramid Head games. Which is kind of true. Like, let's be honest. You kind of really have to force it, excuse me. And I don't like that in character design when there's mechanics that you feel like you have to force to get the benefit of. Another example of this would be Skull Merchant. Yeah, you can expose people in the drone, but you know how tough you have to, like, force that thing to happen? That isn't something that just comes naturally, which is kind of the same for Pyramid Head. You, like, either have to really throw, like, longer in the chase to get somebody to get tormented, or you finally catch up to that person that stepped on the trail across the map from you. And in a vacuum, that, you gotta admit, should not happen. You should not feel like you have to play such a weird rowing stranglehold type of game just to get benefits from your power. And this is a good change for that, but I think we all agree we probably wanted the add-ons changed first. If this was a add-on, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I know that was suggested when people were like, why didn't you just make this an add-on instead? Because they already know. Everybody would just use that add-on. Even if it's Eerie, that would be the Pinky Finger Eerie Hatchet for Pyramid Head. Everybody would just run that. Instead of double range, they would just run that. And you'd have the same issue. Why would you run any other add-on? Even if you could have another add-on that just, like, I don't know, makes them tormented every 20 seconds. I don't know. But my point is that if they made it an add-on instead of just a part of its kit, you would just run that add-on and there'd be no purpose in just not making it a part of the kit. With Clown, we can all admit that there's in no circumstance that Pinky Finger should be base kit. I don't care how weak you think he is or how strong you think he is. He's okay in my opinion, but you should not, that shouldn't happen. Same with, like, Eerie Hatchet for Huntress. That shouldn't happen. I think that's one of those things that you could agree that if they made it an add-on, it would just be what it is. So they skip over it. Now, what I would have liked to see is an add-on pass on top of this, if I'm being honest. Well, if I would have rather seen an add-on pass instead of this. But it's something I am not nearly as upset about as I thought I would be. And you say, but Monster, you just said you suggested it. I did. But it was really one of those, haha, you know, unless, hey, you know, like, it was a sneaky link type of suggestion, you know. Oh, this is a can of worms that is just open. And so far, it doesn't seem to be spilling. Like, I can understand if people are frying bigger fish with the survivor perks or the EMPs being way too accessible for the singularity counterplay. I can understand that, but the DbD community is not quiet. They are not. And if there is something wrong, there is something wrong. Everything red alert, everybody, yeah, immediately, right? So for this to not happen, I could even have survivors, like you'll see in this one, just be like, hey, oh, that's kind of cool. That's nice. Instead of just like crying and raging at me, I can't help but say that it must be a good change. I am truly dumbfounded by how this has played out so far. Maybe you might have a different opinion, which, you know, please let me know, and let me know if your experience has been different. I was recently on twitter.com talking about how, you know, there's some things that people claim that they don't see or see all the time that, oh no, I feel like everybody's lying about. Like, people are talking about that they don't see hyperfocus, when if you look through my games, it's there for a good portion of them. And then there's people that always see Wesker, and, you know, I don't play Survivor, but the other survivors I knew that do are like, I don't ever see Wesker. So, things like that. Let me know what your opinion or experience has been. So yeah, if you liked the video, like it, got a comment for me, comment, and until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.